Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. I welcome all of you to His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily call. Today, our speaker is Her Grace Sridevi Mataji. Mataji is going to enlighten us on the topic of Sri Giriraj Govardhan Lila. As I hope you are all celebrating Govardhan Puja very nicely. Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Mataji, for giving your association and choosing this topic on this very nice day or auspicious day. You can please take over, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Dear sweet Srimati and all my wonderful God family, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev, and all glories to Govardhan Hill, and all glories to this wonderful pastime. Thank you all so much for coming online. Guru Maharaj called me and asked me to give this class because he's been very busy today. And so therefore I humbly request for your blessings and for your merciful so that I will do justice to the service that has suddenly been given to me. It's a very beautiful pastime, and of course, we have hearing and seeing and performing it for many years, but speaking about it is something different. So please give me your blessings. So let me start with the invocation prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today a very wonderful pastime takes place, Giriraj Govardhan Lila, and it is of great delight to the devotees. All the kids just love this festival because they get a chance to make the little Govardhan clay animals, birds, trees, bushes, butterflies, bees, so many beautiful things are made out of clay. And then, at least where I was staying, they would auction all these cute little animals and birds and everything, and the money would go to the Gurukul. So that's how this is a very family-oriented festival, because even the kids get to take part in it, and they just relish the opportunity to do some nice seva to Giriraj Govardhan, which is very important, as we shall see later on. So who is Giriraj Govardhan actually? If we go back to Satyayug, he is the son of Dronachal, the king of mountains, and this mountain range was in the west of India called Shalmali Dvipa. Now Pulastya Muni, in the course of his wanderings, he was looking for a beautiful place, a holy place, where he could peacefully perform his puja, his activities, his austerities and penances. And he came across this very beautiful Govardhan hill, which completely enchanted him with its trees, with its waterfalls, with its caves, with its forests, with the sweet grass everywhere. And immediately his heart desired to take this Govardhan hill and take him back with him to Kashi, Banaras. So what did Pulastya Muni do? He went to Dronachal, the king of mountains, the father of Giriraj Govardhan, and he asked for Giriraj Govardhan to be given to him to take to Kashi. Now, Dronachal, the king of mountains and the father of Giriraj Govardhan, was very reluctant to part with his son, because the son was actually Giriraj Govardhan in Golok Vrindavan, who had manifested over here. And so he was very reluctant to part with his son. Now Giriraj Govardhan, realizing that Pulastya Muni would curse his father in rage if he doesn't go, tactfully volunteered that I will go with him on one condition, that he must not put me down anywhere. He must take me and go straight from here to Kashi. Because when he asked the sage, how are you going to take me to Kashi? The sage said, here Tapobal, the power of austerity. So by his mystic powers, he said, I will just carry you in my right hand and take you all the way to Kashi. So Giriraj Govardhan said, all right, I will come with you on one condition. If you put me down anywhere, you will not be able to move me from that place. You must take me all the way straight to Kashi, because if you put me down, that's where I'm going to stay. Pulastya Muni agreed. He was a very powerful sage. He had tremendous mystic powers. And so he carried Giriraj Govardhan and they were going towards Kashi. Now guess what happens? On the way, they come to Vraj. They come to Vrindavan. And Giriraj is so attracted by Vrindavan, he wants to stay there. So by his mystic power, he makes the sage have an uncontrollable urge to answer nature's call. And so Pulastya Muni puts down Giriraj Govardhan right there and goes to answer nature's call. He bathes, he comes back, and now he tries to lift Govardhan Hill. And guess what? Govardhan Hill will not budge from there. This is it. And Pulastya Muni tries with all his strength and he cannot move Govardhan Hill 1 inch. Then realizing he actually got tricked, he curses Govardhan Hill and he says, you will decrease by the size of a mustard seed every year. And Giriraj accepts this curse, saying, all right, but I get to be in Vrindavan. So he's very happy to be in Vrindavan and he's patiently waiting because he knows one day Krishna is going to come and perform his pastimes. Now it is still Satya Yuga. In Treta Yuga, what happens is Hanuman is coming and trying to pick up Govardhan Hill to place it, to make that bridge across the Indian Ocean to go to Lanka. Remember, the bridge was being built? Yes. So, as he is picking up Govardhan Hill and Hanuman is flying back, he suddenly hears a celestial voice saying, the bridge is complete, there is no need for the hill. So Hanuman comes back and puts Govardhan back in Vrindavan. And Giriraj is very sad because he wanted to perform some service for the Lord. Then the Lord assures him, don't worry. In Dwapar Yuga, I myself will come as Krishna, and instead of you being just as Hanuman lifted him to take him, I will lift you with my own hands and perform many, many pastimes on your beautiful grassy slopes, in your caves, in your kunds, like that. So Giriraj is satisfied and he waits patiently for Krishna's arrival. And now Krishna has come. And what is happening? Nanda Baba and all the cowherd men, they are getting ready to perform Indra Puja, a puja to satisfy Lord Indra. Why? Because Nanda Maharaj and all the cowherd men, they are Vaishyas. Vaishyas means they are cowherd men doing farming, cow protection, especially cow protection. And so they are dependent on agriculture. And for agriculture, we have the need for rain. And who is the Lord of rain? The demigod for rain, Indra. So Nanda Baba is getting ready to perform a very nice sacrifice, a very nice puja to satisfy Lord Indra, so that there will be plentiful rains and plentiful green grass, and all the cows can be fed happily all year round. And even when it's winter, the dried grass is stored as hay. There will be abundant hay for the cows, the bullocks, the calves. And so they're getting ready to perform a very immense and very wonderful puja. Now, little Krishna, who's only 7 years old, he has a plan. He knows Indra has become very proud because he's a very powerful demigod. And this is something we should all be careful about, because if we get a little power in Kali Yuga, what happens to us? We tend to become very proud. And then Krishna teaches us a lesson. He will cut down our pride. So he does the same thing to Indra. He wants that even though Indra is a demigod and devotee, he has become very proud, which is not good. And so he decides to teach him a lesson. So he goes up to his father and he says, my dear father, what is this sacrifice that you're preparing for? What is it that you're all doing over here? So Nanda Baba thinks what this little child of 7 years will understand. So at first he's silent, he doesn't say anything. But Krishna won't give up. He again asks his father, my dear father, What is this ritual? Is it a tradition? What is it all about? Please tell me, because I wish to know what is it you're doing and what is the purpose behind it and what is the result you hope to get. So Nanda Baba starts telling him, my dear son, this is a sacrifice that we are performing to please Lord Indra, who is the demigod of the rain. We are dependent on him to supply us with plentiful rain so that we have nice crops, we can take care of our cows very nicely, we can perform our agricultural duties very nicely. Now, Krishna, who is the master trickster, he does a trick. With very sweet words and word jugglery, he convinces Nanda Baba that this is not necessary. He says, where is the need for doing this sacrifice for Indra? Indra sends the rain and it falls everywhere. It falls on the ocean also where it's not needed. It falls on the hills, it falls on the plains, it falls everywhere. So where is the need for worshipping Indra? We get the results by the activities we perform. So let us perform these activities, but instead we will worship Govardhan, because he is the one who is supplying nice grasses to our cows, nice shady groves, nice beautiful caves, because Krishna and Balaram performed many pastimes over there, and Krishna loved to be on Govardhan hill. So he was convincing Nanda Baba, let us worship Govardhan with all the cows instead of Indra. Now what does Nanda Baba say? Well, for the time being, let me continue with my puja and sacrifice and austerities to please Indra. We will do another ceremony for Govardhan and for the cows. So Krishna says, no, my dear father, there is no time for all that. Whatever preparations you have made, you use all these preparations for worshipping Govardhan hill. So he convinces Nanda Baba that it is not necessary to worship Indra. Let us worship Govardhan and the cows instead. So Nanda Baba and all the cowherd men, they agree to little Krishna's proposal, and all that they have prepared, all the nice paraphernalia they have collected, the brahmanas, the priests, everybody gets ready to worship Govardhan. And now Nanda Baba asks Krishna, role reversal. Instead of the father telling the son, the father is now asking his son, what should we do, my dear Krishna? Please tell me, what should we do to worship Govardhan? So now what does Krishna say? He says, prepare very nice foods of all descriptions from all the grain and the ghee that you have collected for this Indra Yatna. Prepare rice, prepare dal, prepare halwa, pakora, puri. Make all kinds of very nice milk preparations such as sweet rice, rabdi, sweet balls, sandesh, rasgulla, laddu. And then invite all the learned brahmanas and the priests who will chant the Vedic hymns very nicely, offer oblations to the fire, and offer all this nice bhog to Giriraj Govardhan. Let there be plentiful charity given to the brahmanas. Decorate all the cows very, very beautifully and feed them nicely and give money in charity to the Brahmins and take care of all the classes of people and make sure that everyone gets nice, sumptuous prasadam, especially the cows should be given very nice, soft, green, fragrant, tasty green grass. And this is how I want the Govardhan Puja to happen. So very happily, all the residents of Vrindavan bring all the cows, all the ladies prepare so many wonderful, wonderful things. The brahmanas get ready and they're chanting all the Vedic hymns. They're performing very nice puja. The cows are all decorated beautifully with gold tips on their horns and very nice silken coverings on their body. And they've put jeweled anklets on their hooves. All kinds of wonderful preparations are made for satisfying Giriraj Govardhan. And Srila Prabhupada writes that this Govardhan Puja is observed in the Krishna consciousness movement because Lord Chaitanya has recommended, because Krishna is worshipable, his land, Vrindavan and Govardhan Hill is also worshipable. So Govardhan Puja is going on since that time. It is called Annakutta ceremony. And if you go to Vrindavan, it is such a gorgeous festival. All the temples, huge quantities of food are prepared and then very sumptuously distributed to everyone. So prasadam is in abundance. And a very wonderful thing happens when this ceremony is going on. Krishna assumes the form of Govardhan himself and declares, I am Govardhan, you can feed me. And they all see the deity, the form of Giriraj Govardhan as Krishna, and Krishna himself sitting on top of Govardhan hill and accepting all the offerings. And Giriraj Govardhan assumes a very, very huge, wonderful form. And with his right hand, he begins to collect all the sumptuous food over there and starts putting it into his mouth and say, give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more. Called Aniyor, Aniyor. He says, give me more. And all the ladies are bringing all the food from their home. They're bringing all the paraphernalia. They're again cooking. They're again feeding. And still Giriraj is saying, give me more, give me more. So finally, they don't know what to do. All the food is just getting over and still Giriraj is not happy. So finally, they tell Balaram, please do something. So Balaram brings one tulsi leaves and puts it on the offering. And then Giriraj is very, very happy. So this is to show that unless tulsi leaf is offered on the offerings, Krishna doesn't feel satisfied. So whatever preparations, we should always put tulsi leaves on it. So he says that I myself have Govardhan hill. And then he begins to eat all the food. At the same time, he remains as the little child Krishna who's with all the gopas. Isn't that amazing? So Krishna himself offers obeisances. He tells everyone to offer obeisances to this huge deity of Govardhan. And he says, now we will circumambulate Govardhan hill. So they say this huge form of Govardhan is favoring us by accepting all these offerings. So we will now perform very nice parikrama. So the cows nicely decorated, they are put in the front. All the ladies are in palanquins and or on bullock carts. And they're all circumambulating, all the men are circumambulating Govardhan, singing the glories of Govardhan hill. And this is the way a very nice puja has been performed. So Krishna declares, and I'm going to read this because it's so important for us to know. He declared at this meeting, one who neglects the worship of Govardhan puja as I am personally conducting it will not be happy. There are many snakes on Govardhan hill, and persons neglecting the prescribed duty of Govardhan puja will be bitten by these snakes and killed. So in order to assure the good fortune of the cows and themselves, all the people of Vrindavan near Govardhan must worship the hill as prescribed by me. And therefore we see in our Hare Krishna movement, every temple, everywhere, in every home, a nice big Govardhan hill of halwa or suji or cake or some preparation is made and very nicely decorated, and that is Krishna himself. So puja is offered to this form of Krishna in the form of Govardhan hill. Devotees circumambulate this Govardhan hill, and the parikrama that is done in individual homes or temple is the same as doing the Govardhan parikrama in Vrindavan. Now the actual parikrama in Vrindavan is 21 kilometers long. So it takes about 8 hours, they say, by foot to go all around Govardhan and to do the parikrama. If you take a rickshaw or a toto or something, it takes about a couple of hours. But in Vrindavan, actually, what the people do is Dandavat parikrama. That means they fall flat on the ground. They put a stone where their head touches the ground. They get up. They again fall flat on the ground. They put a stone again where their foot should be next. And like this, they perform Govardhan hill parikrama by falling flat on the ground, offering obeisances at every step. And that takes a few days, but it is a tremendous austerity. And you will not believe, I saw this myself. Young people, young girls, young boys, middle-aged people, old people, they all do this Vrindavan Govardhan parikrama by falling flat on the ground, putting a stone where their head is, so that when they get up, they know their feet must be where that stone is. So this is the way they do Govardhan parikrama all around Govardhan hill. Sanatan Goswami, he was doing Govardhan parikrama, and it took hours, as I said, by foot. So when he became very, very old, Krishna himself told him, here, this Govardhan Shila is the same as Govardhan hill. You just perform parikrama 4 times around this Shila, and I will accept that as your Govardhan parikrama. So Sanatan Goswami was doing parikrama around that Shila, and that Shila today is there in Radha Damodar temple. And devotees, when we go over there to Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan, everyone does 4 circumambulation rounds around that, and that is also the same as doing Govardhan parikrama. It is equal to that. So Govardhan hill is very, very famous. Why? Because Krishna and Balaram performed so many beautiful pastimes. And there are so many pastime places in Govardhan, which I'm going to tell you about. Would you like to hear? So the places to visit in Govardhan are Radha Kund and Shyam Kund. This is very, very, very beautiful and very important place. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Actually, Govardhan hill is in the shape of a peacock, they say, and Radha Kund and Shyam Kund are its eyes, and its tail is known as Puchri. That means the tail of the peacock. Then Radha Kund and Shyam Kund, how did these 2 kunds come? There's a very interesting story, the killing of Arishtasur, the bull demon. Once a bull came in the form of a demon and tried to create havoc in Vrindavan. And of course, Krishna immediately killed the bull demon. But Radharani took exception. She said, how can you kill a bull? Cow killing, bull killing is not allowed. So you have done a very grievous wrong. So I don't want to talk to you. You have to go and purify yourself. You have to go and bathe in all the holy rivers. So Krishna says, why should I go to all the holy rivers? I will call all the holy rivers here and I will bathe here. So he makes the Shyam Kund happen by calling all the holy rivers, and they are very pleased to come, and that's how the Shyam Kund happens. Now seeing this beautiful Kund and Krishna taking bath over there, Krishna says, now what about you? I have my Kund, what about you? And so Radharani says, I will, and he invites her, you come to my Kund. And she says, no, I don't want to pay those polluted waters because you have gone in over there to cleanse yourself of the sin of killing this bull demon. So I will make my own Kund. So she and the gopis, you know how they start digging the Kund? They remove the bangle and they're scraping away at the mud of the place, trying to make a Kund. So Krishna takes, pity on them, and then he calls all the holy rivers and says, go and bless Radha Kund, and that's how Radha Kund is formed. So she has her Radha Kund and he has Shyam Kund. They're close together actually. Another beautiful place in Govardhan is Kusum Sarovar. Kusum means flower and Sarovar means pond. So therefore, this is actually where Radharani would meet Krishna in secret, and she would make the pretense of coming to the temple, but she would actually go there to meet Krishna. So this Kusum Sarovar is a very beautiful pastime place. Then there is Radha Ban Vihari Mandir. It is said that here Krishna decorates the hair of Radha. He actually combs her hair and plaits it, makes a braid and places flowers in it. And this is where this pastime takes place. Another very interesting pastime is Damghati Mandir. So Krishna, what he does to harass the gopis as they're going by with their pots of yogurt and buttermilk to sell, he says, what about my tax? You have to pay tax to me. So the gopis say, who are you to collect tax? Radharani is the queen of Vrindavan over here, and we don't recognize you as any tax collector. Whose tax collector are you? So Krishna responds, he says, he is the tax collector of the Lord of Beauty. And since the gopis are very beautiful, they have to pay tax. Krishna is so mischievous. And then the gopis of course laugh it all off, and they just don't bother. They are keeping on walking, they don't pay any attention to all this nonsensical tricks of Krishna. So what does Krishna do? He hides from behind the tree and he starts throwing rocks and pebbles to break the pots of yogurt and butter and buttermilk and harass the gopis. So the gopis, go and complain to Mother Yashoda, and this pastime takes place at Damghati Mandir. It's called Damghat, where he was collecting dam, means taxes, pay your taxes. What a sweet way to pay your taxes, isn't it, to Krishna? Better if we pay our taxes to Krishna in the form of nice service and nice service to his devotees than keeping on worrying about how to pay taxes to IRS or the Indian government or whichever government we are in, because that's just, working hard, like so hard just to pay taxes. That's what today's life has come to. So better if we engage in devotional service to Krishna. Manasi Ganga. This is a very beautiful river that is there in Govardhan. And you know how Manasi Ganga came? She came from the mind of Krishna. Thus Nanda Baba expressed a desire along with Yashoda Mai to go to all holy places of pilgrimage to bathe in the holy rivers. Now, but Nanda Baba was already elderly and Krishna didn't want them to leave. So he said, I will call all the holy places and you bathe over here. You don't have to leave Vrindavan. So he manifested Manasi Ganga from his mind at Govardhan, and Nanda Baba and Yashoda Mai very happily bathed in Manasi Ganga's waters, and that is why this is a very sacred place, Manasi Ganga on Govardhan. Then there's Govinda Kund, where Krishna appeared as Srinathji. In fact, it is said that in the evenings he comes there as Srinathji, and the same Srinathji is there in Nathwar in Gujarat. Then there is Jivya Mandir, which is considered to be the tongue of Govardhan. And on the eve of this Annakut or Govardhan Puja ceremony, the Vrajavasis bring large quantities of food and they offer it at this mandir because it's considered as the mouth of Govardhan, and therefore he will eat all those nice offerings. Then Puchrika Lota, this is the tail of Govardhan, which is in the shape of a peacock, like I said. And here there's a very nice mandir called Puchrika Lota Baba. Now, who is this Lota Baba? He's actually a cowherd boy. And he was playing with Krishna and Balaram. And Krishna and Balaram were playing hide and seek with him. Now, as they were playing hide and seek with him, they asked him to close his eyes and they would hide. So, Lota Baba closed his eyes and he was waiting. And Krishna, meanwhile, were called off to Mathura by Akrur and they never came. So it is said that Lota Baba is still waiting for them to come. And so this mandir is where he is doing his meditation, waiting for Krishna and Balaram to come. Another version is that they were playing hide and seek, and Lota Baba closed his eyes and Krishna went into hiding. He was supposed to be found by Lota Baba, but meanwhile he got distracted by Radharani and never came back to play. So another version also says that, you know, Krishna didn't come, and so Lota Baba is supposed to be waiting over there, and there's a mandir of Lota Baba. Some say that Lota Baba is actually Hanuman because he wanted so much to participate in the pastimes of his Lord in this time as Krishna, because he had participated in the pastimes and served the Lord in his form as Lord Ram. He wanted to take part in Krishna pastimes also. Some say that he's actually Hanuman who came back because he wanted to play, he wanted to serve Krishna as a cowherd boy. So some say he's actually a form of Hanuman. Surabhi Kund. Surabhi Kund is a place where Indra begged forgiveness. And I'm now going to speak about what happens after Govardhan Hill Puja was done by the residents, now how Indra reacts. I will tell you about it in a minute. So Surabhi Kund is a place where Indra actually comes there to beg forgiveness along with the favorite animal of Krishna, the cow. He knows that if he goes alone, he might not get forgiveness. But if he takes Krishna's favorite animal, the cow, he will definitely be forgiven. So he's very, very smart. And he comes on his elephant Airavat, and they say that Airavat's footprint is still there, and there is a small temple constructed at that place where Airavat's footprint is there. So all these wonderful places of pastimes are there on Govardhan Hill, and now I'm going to talk about how Indra reacts after knowing that this sacrifice, which was meant for him, is actually now being offered to Govardhan Hill. He gets enraged. He is so angry. His pride is hurt, and he thinks, who is this little boy Krishna? And what is he teaching? He's just a simple, childish, talkative child. This is how he talks about Krishna. And the residents of Vrindavan have become very puffed up because they're very materially opulent because of the cows. So I'm going to teach them a lesson. So he calls for his most powerful clouds called the Samvartaka clouds, which are actually the clouds which are called on at the time of devastation of the cosmic manifestation, and orders these clouds to go and pour a terrible rainfall in Vrindavan and flood the whole of Vrindavan. Now, even Samvartaka clouds are scared because nobody likes to harm cows. They know that this is the Lord's special animal. And so they are a little scared. But Indra orders them and says, no, I'm going with you. You do not fear. and the clouds go and they start pouring rain on whole of Vrindavan. Now Vrindavan is being inundated with rain as thick as pillars, is the description in Krishna book. And the rain feels like sharp arrows. It is cold, heavy rains are blowing, there's lightning, there's thunder, and the waters are now filling up Vrindavan. Everybody's shivering and frightened by the winds and the cold and the rain, which is coming down in torrents and filling up the whole land. The cows are aggrieved. They come with their little calves under their bellies and they're pleading with Krishna. All the gopas and the gopis are pleading with Krishna, oh Krishna, please save us. And what does Krishna do? He just picks up Govardhan hill and holds it on the little finger of his left hand. Just as a child picks up a mushroom. That is the description, so easily. And he says, do not fear, and calls all of them to come and take shelter beneath Govardhan hill, which he holds up like an umbrella for 7 days and 7 nights to protect all the residents of Vrindavan from the torrential rainfall sent by Indra. And the description goes that for 7 days and 7 nights, continuously, the residents are with Krishna and they feel no discomfort, no hunger, no thirst, no sleep, no pain, no nothing. They're just so happy to gaze at Krishna and to wonder how beautifully he is taking care of all of them by holding this hill on the little finger of his left hand, and they're just happy to be with him. They have no fear of any kind. The rain is falling like crazy, but they are unaffected because Krishna is protecting them. And it is also said that even Govardhan doesn't feel anything because the rain is pelting him. The rain is pounding on him. There's thunder, there's lightning, but Govardhan doesn't feel anything. Why? Because he's directly in touch with Krishna. So this is the power of Krishna consciousness. And the description goes by many senior devotees also that we will face adversities, we will have calamities, we will have obstacles, we will have severe challenges. But if we take shelter of Krishna, the icy rain, the thunder, the lightning, the hail, the thunderstorm will not be able to touch us even one little bit. And we will remain safe under the shelter of Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. This is a very important lesson actually from the Govardhan Hill pastime, that by taking complete shelter of Krishna, we can be completely protected even in the midst of the greatest calamity. We don't have to fear anything. And this is how the residents also felt. They felt very safe and they were absolutely enchanted, because otherwise Krishna was coming and going, he was herding the calves and cows, he was leaving Vrindavan, he was coming back in the evening, then again he would run out and play. Sometimes his mother would have to keep calling him, come, 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 eat your lunch, why are you running around like a street boy? She would shout at him, scold him like that. But now she got to be with her son 7 days and 7 nights without one single minute's break. Nanda Baba was constantly looking at his son. The Gopal and the Gopis were constantly enchanted by Krishna. Nobody wanted to go over there, leave that place or do anything. They were just so happy to be with Krishna all the time. In fact, they wanted to help Krishna. In Krishna's hand, at one moment, he became very enchanted by the beauty of the gopis, and his finger shook a little bit slightly because he got embarrassed by the thought that maybe Balaram noticed him staring at the gopis. And so the finger shook a little bit and the hill trembled a little bit. So immediately everybody said, oh Krishna, let me help you, let me help you. Some of the cowherdmen said, I will hold up Govardhan with a stick. Like anyone can help Krishna. Does he need any help? Of course not. This is just Lila, this is just pastime to enchant us more and for the enchantment of the residents also of Govardhan, of Krishna. So, the 7 nights and 7 days, Krishna, the Indra is pounding the residents with all this rain, but nothing happens. And finally, he himself comes on his elephant carrier, Airavat, and he sees what is going on. And he sees Krishna there protecting the residents and nothing is happening to them. He immediately understands This is a power superior to mine. And immediately tells the Samvartaka cloud, desist from any more rain, withdraw everything, and the clouds stop the rainfall, the sunshine comes out, everything is quiet and peaceful. And now Krishna tells all the residents, now you are safe and you can safely go home with your cows, your cats, your bullock carts, your belongings, everything. And slowly, slowly, all the residents, they start moving out from under that big umbrella of Govardhan hill, and they start returning to their homes. And Krishna very carefully places Govardhan hill right there, back to where it was before he picked it up. So nicely, Krishna places everything back like normal. And then Indra comes there offering obeisance. He is realizing his terrible mistake. And he sees the little baby boy Krishna, and he is the Supreme Lord himself. And knowing that Krishna loves cows, he comes with Surabhi cow. He begs her, please help me. And Surabhi cow, being very merciful, comes along with him. And then he offers prayers to Krishna, begging for forgiveness. Krishna forgives him. And that's how that whole pastime, which cuts the pride of Indra as well as gives all protection to the citizens of Vrindavan, happens. It is a very beautiful pastime, and it only goes to reiterate that when Krishna says there is no need to worship anybody other than me, we need to take that seriously. And Srila Prabhupada describes in the Krishna book that there is no need to worship any of the demigods, even if they become angry with us. He actually writes this. Even if they become angry with us, we don't have to fear, because Krishna will give all protection. We are following Krishna's direction that only he is to be worshipped. Exclusive devotion to Krishna. And Krishna devotees know this. We know that he is the Supreme Lord. He is all powerful. He is the Supreme Controller, and he gives all protection to his devotees. We have no doubts whatsoever that we must only worship Krishna, and that is not just sufficient, it's more than enough, and it also pleases all the demigods, because the demigods are part and parcel of Krishna. When Krishna is pleased, everyone is pleased. So this is a very beautiful pastime of giving.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Looks like we lost Erin.
Yeah, yes, Mataji. Mataji got froze. Krishna. Looks like Mataji got disconnected. Her internet is not good. I'll just play a little kirtan until Mataji joins. If not, we'll see.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Mataji got disconnected due to Wi-Fi issue. So Mataji is on WhatsApp call now. I'll just put my phone here so that you all can hear Mataji. Mataji, please continue, Mataji. They can hear you now.
I'm not sure if you heard the whole of that shloka which I was quoting. So should I say it again?
Yes, Mataji, please. Yeah, we can hear.
Okay. So this is very beautiful, glorifying Giriraj. It goes like this. Namaste Girirajaya Shri Govardhana Namini Ashesha Klesha Nashaya Paramananda Daini. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the King of all hills, Govardhan Hill, the source of enjoyment for the senses, land, and cows. He is a servant of Krishna and is Krishna himself. He puts an end to unlimited sufferings and bestows the supreme bliss. Simply by seeing the glorious Govardhan Hill, one attains the supreme goal of life. This is in Garga Samhita. Then it also goes on to describe about the name Govardhan. Govardhan has two meanings. Go means cows and Vardham is translated to nourishment. Another meaning of go is the senses, and Vardhan can also mean to increase. Thus, the name is also translated as that which increases the senses in their attraction to Krishna. So, the personality of Govardhan actually blesses the devotee by increasing one's devotion to Krishna. So, this is a very beautiful description of Govardhan. And Govardhan Shila is non-different from Govardhan, non-different from Krishna. Therefore, devotees never step on Govardhan hill. They simply walk around Govardhan hill and offer their most humble obeisances and their pranams and their worship. It is said doing Govardhan Parikrama is the same as massaging the lotus feet of Krishna. And in Nectar of Instruction, the last verse is very beautiful, glorifying Govardhan. I'm going to read that out and then we can open up for questions. The holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha, the transcendental world, because the Lord appeared there. Superior to Mathura Puri, the transcendental forest of Vrindavan, because of Krishna's Ras Lila pastimes. And superior to the forest of Vrindavan is Govardhan Hill, for it was raised by the divine hand of Sri Krishna and was the site of his various loving pastimes. And above all, the super excellent Sri Radhakund stands supreme, for it is overflooded with the ambrosial nectarian prema of the Lord of Gokul, Sri Krishna. Where then is that intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this divine Radhakund, which is situated at the foot of Govardhan Hill? Haribol, Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Govardhan Lila pastime ki jai. So we can now open up for questions, comments, sharing, realizations.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for this wonderful pastime you narrated so nicely. I have a question like, is Giri Govardhan is Krishna too? Is a form of Krishna?
Yes, Krishna himself. Oh, I got.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me clearly and see me?
Yes.
Your voice is not coming, Mataji.
My voice is not coming?
No.
No, we can hear you.
Disconnect and log off and log in again.
Okay.
We can hear her, Srimati Mataji.
I can hear her also from here.
Yeah, we could hear her, yeah, but maybe.
Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Mataji.
we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So sorry for all these internet issues. I'm really apologetic about all the breaks, but hopefully you got the majority of the class, right?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to open up for questions, comments.
So Mataji, I read in Krishna book yesterday, but I couldn't see that Krishna Govardhan Giri is Krishna himself.
Yes. I will read out that passage for you from Krishna book. It's also, of course, there in the 10th canto. Here, the very last paragraph of chapter 24 in Krishna book. When everything was complete, Krishna assumed a great transcendental form and declared to the inhabitants of Vrindavan that he was himself Govardhan Hill, in order to convince the devotees that Govardhan Hill and Krishna himself are identical. Then Krishna began to eat all the food offered there. The identity of Krishna in Govardhan Hill is still honored, and great devotees take rocks from Govardhan Hill and worship them exactly as they worship the deity of Krishna in the temples. The followers of the Krishna consciousness movement may therefore collect small rocks or pebbles from Govardhan Hill and worship them at home, because this worship is as good as deity worship. The farm of Krishna, who began to eat the offerings, was separately constituted, and Krishna himself, along with the other inhabitants of Vrindavan, offered obeisances to the deity as well as Govardhan Hill. So
Yes,
he's
I think I missed that part.
declaring he himself is Govardhan.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
At the same time, he was present as the little boy.
Mm.
And he was leading all of them in circumambulating and offering obeisances and everything.
And I heard one time that, I don't know, in any lecture or I read somewhere, I don't remember, but Srimati Radharani is very fond of Giri Govardhan too. And she told Krishna that in Goloka Vrindavan, if Giri Govardhan goes to Vrindavan, then only I'll come to Vrindavan, or I'll come.
Absolutely right. Yes, when Krishna was telling Radharani that we are going, she said, I'm not going there. He said, why? And then she said, I will not go wherever there is no Vrindavan, there is no Yamuna, there is no Giriraj Govardhan. So he said, taking care of it, they're already there. So yes, all these are very, very dear to Radharani. Yamuna river, Giriraj Govardhan, and of course Vrindavan itself.
Yeah, that's such a huge mountain, became very small one now, Mataji. So
Yeah,
yeah.
smaller and smaller.
Mm.
Actually, there's another, today we just heard it from one of the devotees, that there is another version of how Govardhan manifested from the love of Krishna in his heart for Radha. He's billions of miles in height and millions of miles wide, and he's growing and growing because of his Krishna's love. So Krishna pats the top of Govardhan Hill with his hand and says, enough, enough. So and real Govardhan is supposed to be very huge, very high, very tall, very wide. But of course now, it has become smaller and smaller and smaller. I have not read this pastime that he manifested out of love from Krishna's heart, but I heard it today. Mandakini Mataji, who is Prabhupada disciple, and I think one of her members of her group, Valmiki Das, they were mentioning this appearance of Giriraj in this way. I have to read about it. There's so much to read,
Yes, Mataji. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Namrata Mataji, you want to go ahead?
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to our dear Gurudev, and all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Giri Govardhan. So this was really a very nice Vrindavan tour. Your lecture was indeed a Vrindavan tour for all of us, and I really got absorbed. So thank you very much. I got a lot of news stories as well. So I wanted to ask something about the pastime of the Lota Babaji. What did you mention? Lota Babaji.
Kuchri Ka Lota Baba. There is a mandir called Kuchri Ka Lota Baba, where it is said that Lota Baba is still wrapped in meditation, waiting for Krishna and Balaram to come, because they promised him that they would be coming back. They're just going to hide for some time because they were playing hide and seek. That is the pastime description. I'm sure there's more to it, but that's all I know. There are two versions. One is that Krishna and Balaram and he were playing hide and seek, but they forgot all about Lota Baba because Akrur called them away to Mathura and they left next day and they never came. And so Lota Baba is still waiting for them. Another version is that Krishna and he were playing hide and seek, and Krishna wandered away and then he got distracted by Radharani and he never came back. So that is another version. And they say both, but both, the end result of both is that Lota Baba is still waiting for Krishna. So it's a mood of loving separation, mood of separation of Krishna. That's that mood, Vipralamba Seva, the highest actually.
Yes, indeed. The pastime itself expresses that feeling. So yeah, I love the pastime. You also mentioned that the Puchrika Luta Babaji was the form or incarnation of Hanumanji. So I wanted to ask that should we worship Hanumanji as a demigod or as the devotee of the Lord, because he is there in many of the pastimes. In fact, even in the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, how should we respect him as a demigod? Should we worship him as a? I mean, how do we do that? Because we have Tulsi Maharani as well. That
yeah, we worship him as a great devotee of the Lord, because that is his mood of humble servitorship and complete dedication, complete absorption. In fact, he is the epitome of Dasya Ras. You know, in all the rasa, there are different personalities associated with perfection. You know, Lakshmi Devi for Padasevanam, Shukadev Goswami for reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj for sharing Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, all the 9 processes that are as associated with each personality who has taken it to perfection. So Hanuman has the mood of Dasya Ras in perfection. So we as devotees, we worship and we pray to Hanuman to give us pure devotion to the Lord. Yes, he is a demigod because he is the son of Vayu. Some say he is the son of Krishna, Shiva also, because when Shiva and Parvati were, she wanted to, anyway, I don't know the details exactly, but they had become like monkeys, both of them.
he is the parcel of the Shiva.
Lord Ram's pastimes. She wanted to experience that, I think. I'm not very sure. I have to check on this one, so I'm not going to say that. But anyway, so Shiva and Parvati were engaging in conjugal pastimes, and they say that when he passed semen, that semen was collected by the wind god and given to Anjani. So he's also the son of Shiva. So he's a very powerful demigod also, but we worship him as a devotee, we pray to him for devotion.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for this clarification, because Hanumanji is, in many places even prayed as a demigod and asked for material benedictions as well. So for us, we should pray him as a pure devotee.
Yes, even other demigods, we simply offer them respects. We don't worship them, we don't ask for anything from them, because why should we? We have Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. We can go to him and ask. Why we should ask the demigods?
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nice
Thank you,
question.
Mataji. Sukavaha, Mataji.
Sukhavaka, my dear God sister.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Guru Maharaj's lotus feet. Thank you so much, Sridevi Mataji. It was such a lovely pastimes of Sri Govardhan Lila. As Namrata Mataji mentioned, we all were carried away in that pastime Lila with your Vani Prahva, basically. Amazing. Just one question. You said that devotees can take the Govardhan Shila, but we can't. Can we? We are restricted not to take it, isn't it?
Yeah, though it is described by Srila Prabhupada in the Krishna book, that description is to show that Govardhan is not different from Krishna, that every pebble is not different from Krishna, but we shouldn't just go and pick up the stone, and we have to have permission of the spiritual master. You're absolutely correct. Srila Prabhupada writes that to just establish that Govardhan and Krishna are non-different, But we need the permission of the spiritual master. So they even say that unless you get the Govardhan Shila voluntarily from some resident of Raj, we cannot just go pick it up and take it. Somebody must give the Shila to us. What? Someone must come and give it to you. Then they say that the Shila wants to be worshipped by you, and you take permission of the spiritual master. He cannot just go and, you're absolutely right. It's not just some, like we go as a tourist, and we pick up some, we go to a tourist shop and we say, oh, I went to San Francisco, let me pick up this magnet for my fridge. Not like that. Absolutely correct. It's very sacred. And Shila is not different from Krishna. So we need blessings of sadhus first to get it from them. And then we need permission of Guru to worship the Shila. All Shilas, yeah, you're right. My humble obeisances to you, my dear sister. Your sincerity is so wonderful, so moving, and so inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm nothing compared to you, Jay.
Please. That is absolutely incorrect and absolutely untrue. I'll tell you why. Because each one of you is so special. Whenever I see all of you, I just think, I am so blessed to be in the company of all such wonderful disciples of Guru Maharaj. And what am I doing over here? Many times I think, so full of anarthas, it has to be Guru Maharaj's mercy that is allowing me to be in the company of all of you. He called me a rascal again today, by the way.
But no. But listen. You are wearing saffron. We are not.
That just happened just like that. Look forward to seeing you, my dear Sukhavara.
I know. I can't wait to see you.
I had the fortune of being with one god sister in Mumbai, Namrata, and now I'm looking forward to meeting more of you for the Govardhan Eco Village retreat.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Scarlet
Mataji, I think Rascal is a trophy for you. I mean, I think we haven't got the trophy yet. You have got that trophy.
Believe me, I'm such anyway, let's not go there. Krishna Chaitanya, Guru Maharaj's mercy is just amazing,
Scarlet Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Guru Maharaj and all glories to you all. I have a question about Indra. Was it Indra with the rain?
The rain god.
Yes. Didn't he knows, because he's a demigod, how come he doesn't know that is Krishna?
Well, what happens is sometimes the demigods get bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord. Even though he is a demigod and even though he's a devotee actually, sometimes he gets so puffed up by his own powers, he becomes very proud and therefore he gets very illusioned. Because he sees just a little baby boy of 6 or 7 years and he thinks, what this little baby boy can do. Even Dharma got bewildered like that. So this little child holding a morsel of, yogurt rice in his hand with some fruits on it, he can't be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so he steals all the covered boys, calves and puts them in the cave. And he comes back and Krishna has expanded himself into all the missing covered boys to the last detail. Replica, absolute Xerox copies of each one of those boys and calves. That's the power, of Krishna. So even though Krishna may be a baby or a child or a toddler or a young teenager, he is the Lord. He has all the powers at every point. And so even Brahma gets bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord. So they are not demons, they are also devotees, but they are mixed devotees. And so pure devotees never get illusion, but because they are mixed, they get bewildered by the illusory power.
I mean, they have Krishna got tested by that the demigod takes away the children and the cow, and he expands himself. Lord Krishna expands himself to many, many children and cow. That wasn't that enough, and it needs to be a rain too. I mean, there's two different situations. Once it's with the children and the cow, and then the other one with the rain. So
listen. There are two different demigods. One is Brahma.
yes,
The cows and the calves episode is with Brahma, and the other is with Indra.
I understand that. I understand that, but they are gods, right?
Demigods.
They are gods. They are demigods. Shouldn't they know more than what we know? All of them. I mean, Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Vayu, all these.
When you say that.
What?
Be very careful when you say that. They are very powerful demigods.
Yes, I know. They have to be. So how come they are testing? That is what I mean. They are powerful, okay, and they should know better not to test the highest God. I mean, Lord Krishna is the highest of everything. So how come they go and try to test him? That's I don't understand.
Because again, they are not pure devotees. Srila Prabhupada writes this. Only pure devotees are never in illusion. But all the rest of us, be very careful. We can get bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord. And we have to be really careful because they're very powerful demigods and even they get bewildered. What to speak of us? So we can't, dismiss their service, their power just because they got, even Shiva got illusion. He ran after Mohini Murti. He got so illusioned by Mohini Murti that he ran after God. Krishna had taken that form of a woman and he was so enchanted that he started running after Mohini Murti. But later on, when he comes to his senses, he is actually rejoicing that my Supreme Lord Krishna is so great that he corrected me, that he accepted that the Lord's power is supreme and that he could bewilder him. So anyone can get bewildered by Krishna's illusion. Anyone, even us, we are bewildered all the time. So we have to be very
I understand about us. We are, for me, I will talk about me. I understand if I got bewildered or I got tested, because what am I? Nothing. I'm the smallest hand in the whole universe. That I understand, because I need to learn. But somehow for me, it's I don't get it. Why they God and the demigods, why they don't believe him as so much that they don't do such a thing? You know what I mean? That is what I don't understand.
Yeah, it is just to show that Krishna's power is supreme, his bewildering power is very, very powerful, and if he wants, he can put anyone in illusion. Even the great demigods can be put into illusion by the power of Krishna. Nobody is exempt. If Krishna decides to bewilder you, nobody can save you. Even Narada, the great devotee of the Lord, at one point he was very proud of his great devotion and absorption. So Krishna put him also into illusion. So we cannot, and also this is to show that even however powerful a demigod may be, Krishna is even more powerful.
So that is the Krishnas who wants them to be in that way.
Want them to be in that way, but because they have independence, they sometimes misuse that independence. Once even Shiva engaged in a war with Krishna, taking the side of his devotee, Shiva decided to wage war against Krishna. So they get befooled by the material energy, sometimes into making mistakes like that. But Krishna always wins because he is supreme and he established he is the Supreme Lord.
Thank you.
Welcome. Nice questions.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Wonderful class and wonderful question answer session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, devotees, for participating.
Thank you very much for hosting this call. I am very pleased to give Maharaj. Guru Maharaj was busy, and so therefore he couldn't come. So thank you all for coming for the class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hari
Sorry,
Bol.
I'm sorry. I tried to look for his lecture on Mayapur TV. I couldn't find it.
Okay, I have to leave. I will talk to you all later. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Mataji. Yeah, thank
Okay.
you. Mataji. Thank
Hi,
you.
Krishna.
Scarlett, Mataji, I'll try to find and I'll post in the group, Mataji.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Even I
Thank
was
you.
thinking about that, but I didn't search for it. So if I find it,
I
I'll
searched for it. I couldn't find it.
I'll try, Mataji. I'll try.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Hare
much,
Krishna.
everyone.
Thank you for today.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, kripasindhubhya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Antakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Giri
Jai.
Govardhan ki jai. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare
Happy New
Krishna.
Year to everyone.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much for today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for patiently waiting for Mataji and